All right, it is October 4th, 2024, and it's a Friday night. And technically, I'm on call, so I got an overnight on call shift. I'm just the backup, though. So far, so good. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm only like an hour and a half in. But I'm feeling pretty good. I have a very strong primary, so she's someone that reports to me. I'm feeling good about that. I know that she's smart. She knows a lot of our systems and services, so I don't feel too bad. There's a cat. Oh, I got to turn this way. There you go. That is Vito. Vito's a good boy. He might start making noise. He's very audible. I can't remember if I was bald in the last one of these. I'm bald now. There you go. I must have been. No. Anyway, I can't remember, but so I'll call. Tomorrow will be primary though, so I might be able to totally coast through tonight, not have to worry about anything, and then tomorrow it's all on me. But my primary today will be my backup tomorrow, so that I know I have good support too. So that's that. Otherwise, not too much to update on for work. It's going to be kind of a busy period coming up, where we're doing our what we call connects at Microsoft. So be having those conversations. I have a vacation at the end of the month. We're going to Hawaii, so I got to try to make sure that I'm getting all that stuff figured out before I go on vacation. Because, like I said, they're trying to be done at the end of the month. So that means I got to get people's connects, got to respond to them, and I usually like to write a lot of detail and be helpful on them, and then have the conversations with them. So ideally, all before I leave, which is real soon. And I have to write my own as well, so can't be procrastinating on this stuff. So that'll be cool. Let's talk. Let's go into Brand Ghost. We've been making tons of progress on Brand Ghost. Onboarding a few more people. We're still kind of in the phase where we probably aren't talking about it enough on social media. So I got to ramp that up. Um, but what's cool is like it's I don't want to say it's just enough because it's not enough, but there are some side conversations that pop up and people are trying it out and stuff. So then we're getting the feedback from them. It's exactly what we need. So we're really happy about that. And we've been keeping the momentum going. So even throughout the week, getting on some calls in the evening after work, and then going through and not quite a bug bash, but sometimes like a bug or a feature bash, and getting through things. So that's super motivating. There's been some feedback that's very much like reassuring about what we're building. Sorry, one of the other cats ran in, so then he ran back out, but they're playing. And I mean that's really what it's all about, right? If we're getting that feedback where people are like, "Oh, I can really see the value," cool. We keep going in that direction. And if we start getting a lot of feedback, sort of in the other direction, then we have to figure out like, are we pivoting, or are we just not targeting the right audience? So we'll sort it out as we go. But the good news is that people are onboarding and that sort of thing. So I think I mentioned probably a couple weeks back now that we have this opportunity to have things emailed out on a newsletter. It's like 50,000 subscribers. The That newsletter, we've been trying to get the content and stuff ready for. So I think we expected that we would have sent it out sooner, but that's not like a bad thing. We're not like rushing for it. So I think it's supposed to go out now on Tuesday of next week. We have the copy for it. We finished our onboarding workflow, and what's being added right now, like literally as I speak, not by me, but someone else on the team, they're adding in. I can't remember if it's can't remember the name of the package for it, but it's front end stuff that kind of gives you a guided tour through the application, and that's just going to help a lot. We think in terms of helping understand what we have going on, because some of the concepts are like people understand their social media platforms and accounts and stuff like that, but if you're not thinking about posting content on a regular schedule, some of the things might not feel obvious. So we're just trying to tackle it from different fronts. Obviously, we want to make it feel as obvious as possible, but if we can educate along the way, like we're assuming there's some amount of education that has to happen. So it's all feeling good. Trying to think if there's anything interesting to call out from that. We had a couple of bugs over the past few days, like kind of embarrassing stuff that we figure it out and then we crank out a fix. But overall, I think we've primarily just been reacting to feedback, and that's I feel like one of our superpowers at least is that we can respond to things fast and show that we care. So it's not just like, hey, thanks, and then like we'll add it to the backlog of things to never do. We want to show you like we're listening, and as long we haven't yet had anything that was like, oh, that's like that's stupid feedback. And obviously everyone has their reasons for things, but we haven't had people like saying like go do this solution. It's been more like something like this would be helpful for me if you had a capability like this. So it helps us understand like why that user is looking for something. So overall it's good stuff. But that's Brand Ghost. This weekend, I'm going to be cranking out videos for the next course that Ryan and I are doing for Dome Train. And that's just because this week I haven't had time to do it. And I was sick at the beginning of the week, unfortunately. I know excuses, but it's just the reality. So I'm going to try to get through like 3 sections this weekend. I also need to kind of put my foot down on getting some YouTube content out because I really slacked this past week again. I'm not feeling good about that because it's like 2 things. One is like, I'm like, crap, I don't know the topics I want to talk about. So that kind of sucks. And then I feel like I'm falling behind. So then that's extra stress. And it's like, it's just kind of compounding. So I just want to get back in the groove of finding some topics that I can like really dive into and make multiple videos on. Because if you think about when I talk about my content strategy, I like to have like a pipeline of things. And if I'm constantly doing like kind of random C# videos and stuff like, and there's no continuity, it's like a lot of overhead for me to go figure this stuff out that I want to talk about. So trying to make that feel like it's back on track. Separately from that though, I've been posting videos to the other YouTube channel called Code Commute. It's literally just unedited videos of me driving and talking about this kind of stuff and software engineering in general. It's a little bit more uncut, especially because you see me get frustrated when I'm driving and stuff. So I've had a couple people laughing at that. But overall, that's actually going well. I'm getting engagement and stuff on them. People are watching them, even though it's a very, very tiny channel. I think I just passed 70 subscribers on it. So it's just neat. It's fun. So I'll keep doing that. Basically, if I find I'm going to be driving for like 15 to 20 minutes at a minimum, and I'm alone because I don't think my wife wants to be on those, then I can toss the camera up and record. So that's been pretty cool. I had a lot of like, shouldn't say a lot. I had a couple of posts that went up this week that were getting people like pretty triggered. And I had a handful of people that were like taking personal offense to it almost, even though like it had nothing to do with any person. Like, and I think they interpreted things like I was attacking them and calling them wrong. Like about recursion, I was just saying like, I don't use recursion and I haven't really used it for like 21 years. But I think it was because there's a bit of hyperbole there. Like I'm saying, like I never use it. I was trying to appeal to people that don't like using recursion and feel like they can't be a software developer because of it. I was just trying to say like, hey, look, I never use it. Like for like the entire time I've been programming, I know what it is. I've seen it, but like I just don't use it. You'll be fine. And then people were commenting back saying like, oh, like you must be dumb. You must not understand it. Like, yeah, I had a pretty foul woman on LinkedIn that like I quickly had to block because like it was very, very angering. And it's not like it's funny. Like I'm not bothered like, oh, I feel stupid now. I'm just like I feel bothered because people shouldn't talk to other people like that. I actually am totally cool if people are disagreeing and they want to share their perspective. I had great example of that tonight on LinkedIn. I was talking about deploying on Fridays in response to someone else that brought it up. And I said, I actually am totally good with deploying on Fridays because I want my team to be able to reflect and say, if they're nervous about deploying on a Friday, why? Like, let's go make it possible. And this person was disagreeing, but we ultimately agreed, like, this person was saying, like, I think that is the ideal state, that we do want to be able to do that, but in practice, it's hard. And I was like, I agree. Like, yes, I think that there are many places where deploying on Friday is riskier, but like, it's exactly the issue is like, don't stop there and say, oh, it's risky, don't do it. Let's go figure out why you're not confident about it. So like that kind of stuff I think is perfect for interactions on the internet. Like, tell me your different perspective. Let's actually talk about it and understand it. Doesn't mean that I have to convince someone or they're going to convince me, but I would, there's something to be said about hearing someone's perspective and being like, I understand why you're saying that or why you feel that way or why you believe that based on the evidence that you're saying. But it doesn't mean that I also have to agree with it. So again, this person was like, because of that, like, I don't think it's a good idea to do it. And it's like, that's totally cool. Like, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I'm here to talk about these things and learn from you, and you can learn from me. And I feel like that deploy on Friday example is a perfect example. I feel like I left that conversation being like, cool, thanks for sharing, and they said the same thing, so cool. But when I have someone calling me incompetent or that my code is laughable without seeing it, and then demanding I show them code, and then when I don't produce code because it's proprietary code that I haven't worked at the place for 4 years anyway, they're like, oh, like, I'm shocked, like, kind of like mocking me for it. And it's like, no, I don't have time for you. And then it's funny. I'll wrap up this video here, but there was a guy on LinkedIn on the same thing that, like, same topic for the recursion thing. And I've seen him on LinkedIn. Like, I don't think we follow each other. We're not connected, but same sort of group. And I actually don't like his posts. I don't think he's like a bad person, but like, he's got a decent sized following, and I think it's just because he posts really polarizing stuff, and like, it works. Like, it works on me because I read it and I'm like, I'm not okay with that. And this guy commented on my recursion thing and started off like on the wrong foot, and I was like, man, like, this is gonna be the day that I have the interaction with this guy, and I'm gonna have to block him because like, I can't deal with people that like get on the offense too much, and it's like they start to become condescending. So he posted a bunch of stuff, and I had to correct him because I was like, look, man, like, no, it's hyperbole. Like, go reread it. It's hyperbole. Like, deep breath. I know what recursion is. It's gonna be okay. I just don't like using it. I don't opt for it. And like, literally talking through with this guy, like, in a few exchanges, like, he was buddy buddy with me. Like, he was agreeing, like, we were talking about this other person that was actually attacking me, and he was like, hey, like, he's like, you should leave those posts up for it's like battle scars and that kind of thing. Like, he's like, don't let people bother you, kind of thing. And it's like, I think that's probably why, like, honestly, if he actually has polarizing stuff but isn't a total D-bag to people, then I feel like people will probably kind of be like, okay, well, we'll put up with this guy even if he's got polarizing stuff, and can make for some interesting engagement. So that actually felt good. Like, it started off where I was like, I don't want to deal with this guy, I'm probably about to block him, to like, okay, I don't like what he has to say, which is fine. Like, his opinion on it, that's fine. But we can move past it. We don't have to agree. And in fact, we found something to agree on after that was unrelated. So, yeah, just like kind of a weird week for like social media interactions. But I don't know. It's like, I guess I don't want to say like I'm big enough on social media where I should expect that, but I've heard people say, like, once you start growing, you'll have more and more people that are like doing that kind of thing, and I don't know, maybe that's a sign. So we'll see. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks, folks, for checking it out. If you like me talking and you want a more uncut sort of experience, this was totally uncut too, but you should check out Code Commute. It's probably up your alley. You can listen to it or watch it while you're commuting as well and hang out with me. It's not live, but might feel like you're driving with me. And then yeah, I do appreciate your support and checking out the channel. So I will see you later. Take care.